grocer? Say that with me. Grocer. A grocer is a person who sells food. Say that with me. A grocer is a person who sells food. This word is flour. Say that with me. Flour. Flour is a powder made by crushing up wheat. It's used to make cakes, bread, cookies, and pancakes. Say that with me. Flour is a powder made by crushing up wheat. It's used to make cakes, bread, cookies, and pancakes. This book, titled Bunny Cakes, is about a brother and a sister named Max and Ruby. In the book, Max and Ruby each make a different cake for their grandma's birthday. The author is Rosemary Wells. That means she wrote the words. Rosemary Wells is also the illustrator. That means she drew the pictures. So let's start by looking at the pictures and talking together about what's happening. What do you think's happening here? What do you think's happening on this page? What happened here? What about this page? What do you think is happening on this page? What's happening here? What about here? What do you think's happening on this page? What about this page? What do you think's happening here? What about here? What do you think's happening on this page? What do you think's happening here? What do you think is happening on this page? What about this page? What do you think's happening here? What do you think's happening on this page? What's happening here? What about here? What do you think's happening on this page? What do you think's happening here? What's happening on this page? Now that we've looked at all of the pictures and you've said what you think's happening on each page, let's read the words and see if you were right. It was Grandma's birthday. Max made her an earthworm birthday cake. No, Max, said Max's sister Ruby. We're going to make Grandma an angel surprise cake with raspberry fluff icing. Max wanted to help. Don't touch anything, Max, said Ruby. But it was too late. Ruby sent Max to the store with a list that said, eggs. Max wanted red hot marshmallow squirters for his earthworm cake, so he wrote red hot marshmallow squirters on the list. The grocer could not read Max's writing. Eggs, said the grocer, and he gave Max eggs. Max brought the eggs home to Ruby. Don't bump the table, Max, said Ruby. But it was too late. Ruby sent Max back to the store with a list that said, milk. This time, Max wrote red hot marshmallow squirters in a different way. Max hoped and hoped for his squirters, but the grocer still couldn't read Max's writing. Milk, said the grocer, and he gave Max milk. Max brought the milk home to Ruby. "There's a yellow line on the floor, Max," said Ruby. "You can't step over that line." But Max crossed the line anyway. Over went the flour. Ruby got out her pencil. Flour. This time Max wrote "Red Hot Marshmallow Squirters" in the most beautiful writing he knew. Max could almost taste the marshmallow squirters. "Flour," said the grocer, and he gave Max flour. When Max got home, there was a sign on the kitchen door. "Max, the kitchen is no place for you," said Ruby. Ruby finished up her cake. She baked it and cooled it and iced it with raspberry fluff frosting. "It needs something else, Max," said Ruby. "Birthday candles, silver stars, sugar hearts, buttercream roses," wrote Ruby. Meanwhile, Max had a brand new idea. He drew a picture of Red Hot Marshmallow Squirters on Ruby's list and ran to the grocer. He could not wait. "Birthday candles, silver stars, sugar hearts, buttercream roses," said the grocer. "What's this? Why, it must be Red Hot Marshmallow Squirters." Ruby's cake looked just beautiful. Max went out and put caterpillar icing on his earthworm cake. Grandma was so thrilled, she didn't know which cake to eat first. Let's say this word together. Grocer. A grocer is a person who sells food. On this page of our book, it says the grocer could not read Max's writing. The grocer is the one that Max went to buy the food. We could use the word grocer another way, like we could say, "The grocer helps me find the fruit I want at the grocery store." Let's say this word together. Flour. Flour is a powder made by crushing up wheat. It's used to make cakes, bread, cookies, and pancakes. On this page of our book, we see where Max spilled the flour, right? He tipped it over. We could use the word flour another way. We could say, "I took the flour and put it on the dough so it wouldn't stick to the table."